Hello and welcome to another episode of the More You Know podcast. Today we're going to be talking about trends, like
Trends.
interest rates.
We're not.
I know.
Everybody talks about that.
Everybody. It's like watching
It's
Sports
like,
Center.
why would anybody ever tune into a real estate deal and talk about interest rates?
Again. Constantly. Not much has changed. It's fine. We talked about it. Look at a different episode that we already did.
We did.
So today we're going to talk about trends, but we're going to go up in an airplane. We're going to go 30,000 feet. We're looking at macro trends.
That's right. Because they can give us a lot of insight into, kind of a bigger picture of what's going on.
Right.
It also gives us kind of a little context to say, hey, we can get kind of down in the mouth about certain micro trends, right?
Things that are happening in front of your face.
But whenever you look at it over time, like World War II, it's like that was a trend that our grandparents and
great-grandparents had to go through.
Grandparents, suffered through that trend, right? We're now looking at post-COVID. We're looking at some of the age trends, population trends, and such. So it won't be. It won't be the interest rate stuff.
No, it won't be the boring stuff. So we're hopefully gonna have some great information here for you. No, we're not. Hopefully, we are going to have some great information for you here. In fact, we're going to start with this information. It's a fun fact. Did you know in the 2020 census that the millennials finally are the ones to knock off the baby boomers for the
biggest population,
adult population?
That's it.
You know what? They're going to be having their own trend. They're going to be pretty tough to lock down because they're super tech savvy.
Yeah.
They've actually waited a long time before they went and bought their first house. So
it's going to be. Yeah. Try to figure that one out.
I know, right? Like, COVID happened and they were like all of a sudden moving out to the suburbs from the inner city. Probably next to a Starbucks.
Dude, really?
Oh, no, that's a Gen X. That's not millennial. Oh. Millennials don't say that.
Bummer.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, that was a low blow on my part. Millennials, we are, if you consider yourself a millennial, you do or you don't, we are going to have some information for you in future episodes that's going to be a little bit more pertinent to you. However, today we're going to talk about the baby boomers. And the baby boomers have been conducting trends ever since they were starting to be born.
They've been driving the whole process all the way through it.
They have,
and I mean that's across our entire society.
Exactly,
right? Clothing trends, everything, but mainly they've had a lasting and continue to have a lasting effect on real estate trends.
Right, like they were the ones who were like, the one stall garage isn't going to do anymore. We're going to need two. And they have all kinds of stuff. We need, higher quality finishes, and they're not done yet, are they? They've got a whole new thing that they're gonna do to the real estate markets.
Yeah, in fact, we see it, and if you're not paying attention, it's a little hard to see because it's been, it's kind of creep, right? The last, I would say, the last 8 to 10 years, it's really taken off a lot. Where you're seeing a lot of, and I don't know whether you're driving by and you're noticing the fact that there's a lot of standalone condominium projects that are out there now.
Right.
We're seeing a lot of movement away from, older populations are moving away from stairs.
Right.
And moving into.
They don't want to do the stairs.
They don't like to leave behind all the nice stuff.
Right. Yeah. So their even quality, the level of quality finish is they're moving with them into the condos.
And you know what? The condos, even if you were to look at condos that were being built in the 80s and the 90s and whatever, even as little as 10 years ago, where they have the stairs up to the front of the condominium. I mean, what?
It makes no sense. Yeah.
And because condominiums, by and large, have always catered more toward, an age group that doesn't have a bunch of children.
Right.
So it's just a better livability situation for people who are Gen Xers now.
Yeah.
Right. And baby boomers like me. I'm a boomer.
Yeah, you're the end of the boomers. I'm the end of the Gen Xers.
I can't wait for you to say, "Hey, boomer."
I would love a condo right now because my yard is a lot to take care of, and there's poison ivy everywhere. Hey, a fun fact about me: I'm allergic to it, really bad.
It's terrible stuff. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to be talking about those. We're going to be talking about the trends and what that means to all of us.
Right.
We're specifically today. We're going to take a little bit of a breather and talk specifically to couple of certain age groups,
right? Yeah.
And then don't feel bad. We're not going to leave you out. We're going to come back, circle back, and we're going to talk about what our thoughts are on the trends, or the coming trends, and what we think is going to actually be generated by the millennials and the XYZers or whatever, right?
Yeah, correct. But for today, it's mainly about the boomers, Gen X's. You're going to want to listen to because it does affect you. But the boomers,
Go. Hey, boomer, go.
You're a boomer. A boomer, not a boomer.
So one of the things that's really important that is now finally getting traction, and this stems, strangely enough, in our practice, we were, even 15, 20 years ago, we were involved in delivering services to people that were disabled, wheelchair, injured in accidents, things like that.
Yeah, birth or accident or whatever.
And so consequently, we became very sensitive to what it even takes to get a wheelchair over a threshold. Right,
because you witnessed several things where people needed something, but they were in just a regular home, and the things that they had to go through just to get into the bathroom was amazing.
Yeah, I witnessed a young lady who'd been in a wheelchair from birth, and we were having a really great conversation in the front living room in a rented house in East Grand Rapids, and she excused herself, went down the hall. I heard a thump. I was really concerned.
Right.
I even said to her husband, "Hey, what just happened? Is she okay?" "Oh, no, that's fine. She can't get her wheelchair through the door."
Yeah, that's
so she essentially threw herself out of the wheelchair so she could get into the restroom. Yeah. So we've been sensitive to those things for a long time, and what's crazy about it is age of a population group like the boomers has finally gotten into this place where all this product line is out there. We're being overly sensitive in a good way now, finally, to this thing called universal design, and more specific for our age group, this concept called age in place. That means that you're building, you're looking for, you're being sensitive to a space that can actually age with you for as long as humanly possible.
Right.
Because
the goal is for that to be the last
one. Fun fact: we're all gonna,
we all got to. We're all gonna get
sometime. We're gonna get our bus ticket punched.
That's right, the bus ticket. You love that one. That's
I know,
that's a good one.
So we're gonna talk just a little bit about the trends, what that means to both Gen Xers, right? That's the group right behind the Boomers, and what we're looking for, what we're seeing in the marketplace right now, and what you guys maybe should be concerned a little bit about, right?
Yeah, at least looking out for. Concern might be a strong word, but certainly
definitely informed
about. Informed and aware of. Yep.
Up until COVID, we were running into a, we kind of had this we're just chugging along type thing, and the general path when you got a little older was to end up in independent living and onto assisted living. Right?
Yep.
And I don't know whether you guys know this or not, but let me tell you something about assisted living. Holy smokes, is that expensive? We're talking about average right now, an AL room of $5,000 a month, and that may be on the low side. So we're talking about $60,000 a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the reason why that was even possible, you got some people that are very well off, and that's great. But the reason why the vast majority of those folks were able to do that, was there used to be a very good benefit packages that you had when you worked for large corporations, and one of those was long-term care insurance, right? So a lot of that is being paid for now and was being paid for by long-term care insurance.
But they're not really offering that. There's very few, if any, that I could think of that are even considering offering it.
And let me tell you something. COVID went in there and shook the whole thing. Right?
Yep.
So it made people reassess what it is that they need and to get off a path. It was a disruptive event, and now what we're looking at is we're seeing the questions that I think we'd like to bring to mind is, what do you need for yourself?
Right.
What is it? So nobody likes to. It's kind of like buying life insurance. You don't like to say, hey, Carl, you're going to pass away, so you might want to have some life insurance. It's more so all the commercials are about all the people that got your money that are really happy.
You want to make sure they're protected and safe. And so nobody likes to talk about it.
So we're actually going to be we're going to be challenging you to look ahead and say, what is it? Where are you right now today?
Right. And where would you like to be?
And what is the optimum place?
Yeah, for you to be, while you're with us and in this world. And that's a really important concept, because a lot of people, they just think, I love my house, I want to stay in my house. So and that's okay. But if you're open to, thinking about some things and maybe making some moves now, the next place that you make your home it would be your last home, but it would also age with you, like we're talking about.
Yeah, and that is nothing more than just getting prepared. Mm-hmm. You don't have to make a decision today about where you want to go. It's more so, let's take inventory of what I actually have right now. Mm-hmm. That's the number one point. What do I have right now? And the point number two is, if I have any kind of a physical condition, either anticipated or presently,
right.
What is that going to do to me X number of years down the road?
Yeah,
right? If I have a lot of steps or whatever.
Is my current
right?
property going to be able to be modified, or is it going to be able to help me live a quality of life that I still want? Because the answer to that is potentially and most likely no, especially if it's an older build, because they weren't building for that now.
Nope.
Conversely, some of the newer buildings and even communities, they're starting to think about that, and they're starting to build that into their
And nobody really
projects.
ever likes to talk about it or whatever, but I mean, you're going to need, I had a knee replaced, and my best friend was my little Raleigh. My little push cart. I'd set my,
we still have these in storage just in case the other knee goes.
Plate, my drink on the go over to the TV, sit down, right? Yeah. So, but when you're using assistance devices like that, it's really important to make sure that you got wide enough doorways to get things in.
And those stairs we talked about before, those can't be there.
You're not going to be able to get past those.
You don't want a ramp that goes up 5 stairs, because that's a steep ramp.
And beautiful things. There's a lot of condominiums now that are being built. They're designed wonderfully. I mean, you've got slope up to the garages from the front of the garage door, right, slopes up to the threshold and leaves you no
service door.
Leaves you no step to get in. So those are the things that I would say, if you're in that age group like I am, these are the things that might do you a lot of good to go ahead and start getting into the mindset of taking an inventory about what that's going to look like in anticipation of what it's going to be later on down the road, right? And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live with my kids. I love my kids, and trust me, they don't want to. They don't want me to live with them either.
Yeah, right here, right there. I'll agree with that.
So we want to, and what's really awesome about that whole thing is like, okay, well, who's going to take care of me? Well, now everything, and this is a national trend. This is a absolute national trend, because it's unaffordable.
Right.
The ALs at $60,000 a year are unaffordable. Memory care, we're talking about $12,000 a month. Right.
It's astronomical.
And so what the trend is, both in healthcare in general and also in living arrangements, is more home healthcare. We're pushing everything in services to the home.
Correct.
Yeah. And some of those can be as simple as we know one company we work with offers light housekeeping all the way to hospce.
Right. The whole gamut.
The whole thing.
Yep.
Right. And so I think that's what our challenge for both folks that are in my age group, the boomers, and also for the Xers. What are you guys going to need? That's the group right behind. What are you guys going to need in your future? What should you be thinking about now?
Right, and that is the third point. Is just start thinking about it. I know it can be a little scary, but if you're doing it now, it's less scary because you're not in the moment. You're not trying to be reactive. You're trying to be proactive. It's going to
gives you a lot of time to think about it too. So if instead of being something coming up on something that absolutely says, well, there's an event, something happened, we have to move because we can't live in this place anymore.
Right. And then you have less options because you weren't prepared.
we're so excited about what's happening now in the marketplace. It did, just the range of products that are coming out there make things easier.
Right.
And what I would encourage, for all of our listeners, is for us to kind of start getting aware of that.
Yep.
Boomers are going to be a little closer to what we need to be doing to pull ourselves into a space we can live in.
Right.
And then Xers are going to, they're challenged sometimes with the possibility of mom and dad coming to live with them.
Correct.
Can their current house stack up?
Right. If their mother-in-law suite and their house is on the second floor or in the basement, that might not work. Yeah, so that means you're going to be living there in your house. And plus it's no longer going to be a mother-in-law suite. It's going to be mom and dad.
Mom suite. Yeah.
So it is something to definitely keep your eyes open for. But the good news is that we're talking about trends, and the boomers have always driven different trends. And because they've gone more to condos, the condos have gotten nicer, better thought out. Yeah. And now that's progressing even further. Standalone.
Yeah, $400,000 and $500,000 for a condo.
That used to be unheard of unless you're talking about a penthouse condo in a high rise. So, now we're seeing that they're kind of either they're pushing themselves into like a condo situation or a project that has more of like a large building condo situation, or the Gen Xers are helping their parents by building homes that are better thought out. So all across the real estate landscape, we're starting to see different products hit the market that are better designed. And the wonderful thing about it is, if they're designed well, you wouldn't even know that they're accessible.
Nope. You wouldn't even know it. And we want to encourage, this is kind of something that's close to our heart because we've been at this for a long time. And, we were kind of in the game when they first coined the term universal design, Right. So this is something that's a little near and dear to our heart. You have a ton of older clients. Right?
Yeah, I love them. I'm like
everybody's adopted grandson.
Which I love. I love that. Yeah.
They love you. So that's good. So we want to encourage everybody to really like and subscribe because we're going to do more information about this.
Right.
There'll be a guide coming out. I think if you're in our newsletter.
Yep. Yeah. We do have a newsletter. It's going to be coming out. It comes out once a month. This month it'll actually be next week. But we're gonna be giving out different types of information each month. So if you think it's a newsletter that's going to tell you like where's the best place to buy a panini, that's not us. No. It's going to be something.
Hopefully, it'll be a little bit.
It'll be more informative.
Hey, man, a good place to get a panini is useful, but maybe not as useful as. Hey, where can I go that I can actually get to and from my bedroom? Right,
exactly. So we pride ourselves on being educational, and we always want to do that. So if there's anything that you want to know about, anything that's been on your mind, please reach out to us. We love information on or suggestions on what you'd like to know about, so we can give you the proper information. Really. Yep. If you're watching us on YouTube, we do have a YouTube channel. We'd love for you to like and subscribe that channel, as well as like and thumbs up this particular video. But we love having you stop by.
We'll have an informational guide available next week, and it'll kind of cover some of the things that we're talking about today
in more in depth. Yep.
Yeah, more in depth about maybe even how you get some of the resources, what resources are available to you.
Right.
Even just the new products that'll allow you to kind of get things off the shelf that you wouldn't be able to reach anymore. Just things like that we don't normally talk about.
Yeah, he's been compiling this type of stuff for years. I've seen the folder on his computer.
And guess what? It's really funny. It was so sparse in the past. Yeah. But now the aging population is caught up.
And you can find them on Amazon.
What do boomers do?
They
buy
the market.
Stuff. Yep. That's right. So now we have a lot of products that we want you guys to be aware of.
Right.
And if you have a need, please, reach out to us because we do. It's something that we really love to do.
It's a passion of ours.
Yeah, passion of ours.
Right.
Okay.
So, we're going to stop s'moring you. You'll know about the term more. We'll keep bringing it up in the future. But thank you so much for stopping by. We love having you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.
See ya. Till next time, right?